I have a little secret to tell you, and it's pretty important. Hi, I'm Thibaut with Pronounce.com. I'm your English fluency coach, and I'm here to help you break the language barrier. Do you understand that first sentence I said in the video? Maybe restart the video and check. If you pay attention, you'll notice that there are many occurrences of the letter T, but a lot of them are pronounced in very, very different ways. The purpose of this video is to explore the different ways native speakers, particularly American people, pronounce the letter T. I'm going to talk about 4 different ways the T is pronounced depending on the context. Context number 1, when the T follows the letter N, it completely disappears. Sometimes. It's not systematic, but very often the T following an N is completely gone, like in words like 20. You might expect people to say 20. Some people say 20. A lot of people say 20. Or center, some people say center, a lot of people say center, the city center. Entertain becomes entertain. Let's repeat these 3 words, first with the T that you might expect, and then with the T that disappears. 20, 20. Center, center. Entertain, entertain. Did you feel the difference? Case number 2, when the T starts, when the T is at the beginning of what we call a stressed syllable, when the T is at the beginning of a syllable that is emphasized, it's stressed. This T is accompanied by what we call aspiration. Aspiration is what we do when we pronounce the letter H in English, as in help and happy. We have air, okay, we exhale and the air becomes a sound. This is what we call aspiration. So the T in words like tarmac, 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 as you can see, the air coming out is pretty powerful. You can try this at home with paper or with your own hand and you'll feel the warm air coming out. Here we go with 3 examples. Terrible, tarmac, and tell me. Repeat these words after me. Terrible, terrible. Tarmac, tarmac. Tell me, tell me. Nice job. Did you feel the air coming out? Let's move on to our 3rd situation, when the T is in the middle of a word, usually between 2 vowel sounds or 2 sounds that contain the voice that we call voiced sounds. I talk about this in other videos. In words like later, the T is surrounded by 2 vowels, and in the word little, it has a vowel and it has a voiced consonant. And in this case, the T is pronounced with a different sound, and this sound is called the flap. This sound doesn't officially belong in the English language. It's not part of the official inventory, but it's used in spoken English and also can be found in languages in India, for example. Flap is something we associate with a bird's wings. Birds flap their wings, or with a flag in the wind. That if you can imagine this movement of the flag in the wind, so it's kind of a soft movement, a flap, and this is what the tongue does against the palate, and it sounds like this. Ara, 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 okay? So in the word later, this is what you might expect, but we say later. Most people say later. Little becomes little, and waiting becomes waiting. Let's pronounce these words first with the T that you might expect, and then with the T that is later, later, little, little, waiting, waiting. Are you able to do the flap? Okay. So don't hesitate to comment if you need any help, if you have any more questions. Let's go with our 4th situation. The 4th one is when the T is at the end of a word, we say it is unreleased. Again, it's not systematic, but it's very common to not go to the end of the production of the sound. Let's understand what unreleased means. Unreleased is the opposite of released. To release is to let go, and so what happens if you look carefully at the T, a T is called a stop consonant because it interrupts, it stops the airflow. So the air comes to the tongue, and the tip of the tongue goes up, and it stops the air like this. And once the air is behind the tongue releases the air, and this is when we hear this t effect, this t, okay? That's the release. In the situation where we don't release it, we place the tongue, we stop the air, and that's it. We stop there. So the word hot is often pronounced hot. You see how I raised my tongue, but I didn't finish the sound? Some people don't even bother to raise the tongue. They just stop the air, and it's called a stop. And so they say hot, okay? So can't often is pronounced can't or can't. But is often pronounced but or but, okay? You have to pay attention to this abrupt interruption in the airflow, because that is what we do. We just don't go to the end. We don't release the airflow. So let's pronounce these three words, first with the T you might expect, and then with the unreleased version. Hot. Hot. Can't. Can't. But. But. Are you able to refrain from releasing the air? How does that feel? Now try to pay attention to native speakers and see how they use it. Okay, now let's try 3 example sentences where we're going to apply these different forms of T and see if you can feel which T is used in which situation. Okay? Just repeat the sentences after me. The tarmac is too hot. The tarmac is too hot. We've got 20 planes waiting. We've got 20 planes waiting. I need to tell them, but I can't. I need to tell them, but I can't. How did that feel? Were you able to place all the different T's? Did you feel the differences? Let's finish with a whole read through all the examples, the sentences, and you'll be good to go. 20. Center. Entertain. Terrible. Tarmac. Tell me. Later. Little. Waiting. Hot. Can't. But. The tarmac is too hot. We've got 20 planes waiting. I need to tell them, but I can't. Great job. Sounds good, doesn't it? If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our new content. For a more immersive experience and to make quick progress, visit Pronounce.com and learn all about the Pronounce headset, the most natural way to unlock your English fluency. Thank you for watching.